Good afternoon, I'm Mai Rodriguez. Today on Newsfeed at noon, Vice President Duterte claims President Bongbong Marcos' order to probe Villar-owned PrimeWater is politically motivated. Police and protesters clash as various groups take to the streets this Labor Day. Top U.S. Democrats describe President Trump's first 100 days in office as a failure and threat to democracy. And Britain's King Charles reflects on his cancer diagnosis and treatment. Vice President Duterte believes President Marcos' order to probe the Villar-owned PrimeWater infrastructure is politically motivated. In an ambush interview, the VP claims it could have something to do with her decision to endorse the senatorial candidacy of Camille Villar.
Dahil lahat naman ng galawan ngayon ng administrasyon ay dahil sa politika. So wala na akong nakita na ginawa ng administrasyon na ito para sa kapayapaan at kaunlaran ng ating bayan. Kundi lahat ay mag-atake lang sa politika at sa mga tao hindi nila kaya takutin at hindi nila kaya bilhin.
Malacanang earlier said Marcos wants an investigation of PrimeWater for alleged poor service and its high cost. Meanwhile, the Vice President confirmed she will attend the DOJ's preliminary probe into the NBI complaint against her. The Bureau earlier recommended the filing of inciting to sedition and grave threat charges. That's after Duterte said she has ordered someone to kill the first couple and House Speaker Martin Romualdez if she herself gets killed. The VP has received summons from the prosecutor's office.
Nagkausap na kami ng aking abogado with regard to sa counter affidavit. Natapos na lang namin. At mag-appear ako dahil kailangan ko mag-uwi.
Davao City Congressman Paulo Duterte slams an alleged plan by security forces to raid his father's home in Davao City. More on this story from Abante Radyo's Edith Isidro, who joins us now on the line. Edith, go ahead.
My supporters of former President Raul Duterte gathered outside his residence in Dunya Luisa subdivision in Davao City late Wednesday evening. Following reports of a potential road surprise raid by security forces, Davao City 1st District Congressman Paulo Duterte, who was in the Hague, released a statement saying the planned operation is clearly a form of harassment and pressure. He added, justice is no longer being followed but money. The lawmaker also warned, quote, the day will come and you will not be held accountable to us, but to the law you have rejected. So far, there has been no official statement from the PNP-CIDG regarding this allegation. Kitty Duterte, daughter of former President Digong, also talked to one of the supporters asking for help. According to the source from the local government, the operatives of Davao had been monitoring for a long time before they carried out the planned raid. Mike?
Edith, ilan ba mga supporters dyan na nagpulong sa labas ng bahay ng former president since last night?
There were only few supporters on the road, but later the number increased for almost 100.
Maraming salamat, Abante Radyo's Edith Isidro, reporting from Davao City. Senatorial candidate Raul Lambino apologizes after spreading disinformation about the arrest of former President Rodrigo Duterte. The Supreme Court has directed Lambino to explain his false claim that the tribunal supposedly issued a temporary restraining order on the arrest. On Billionaire News channels at the forefront, Lambino explained it was an honest mistake. He adds he will respond to the charges point by point.
I know that I haven't done any wrong. Maybe it was an honest mistake, and I apologize to the Supreme Court for whatever bad thing that may have felt by our honorable justices of what I did. But It was never an intentional act. But there was this information that was received, and I overheard it, and that I'm going to explain to the Honorable Supreme Court.
Thank you.
Police and protesters clash as various groups take to the streets this Labor Day. Our mobile journalist Ivy Reyes is monitoring developments in Mandola, and she joins us now for the latest. Ivy, what are these groups calling for this Labor Day?
Other than the years-long call to end contractualization, labor groups today are calling for a 200 peso wage increase. Groups say this amount is only the bare minimum because an appropriate livable wage is actually 1,200 pesos. Meanwhile, senatorial aspirant Leody de Guzman of the Bukluran ng Manggagawang Pilipino, or BNP, calls to abolish the regional tripartite wages and productivity board. The board mandated to assess the minimum wage in provinces. In 2024, the regional wage board approved a 30 peso increase for agriculture and non-agriculture workers. But according to BNP, this amount simply won't do, especially when prices of basic goods and necessities remain high. In Central Luzon, a wage increase of 25 pesos was also implemented just this April. Earlier this morning, the police force clashed with rallies as the latter moved to remove the barricades. Right now, the national minimum wage stands at 645 pesos. Mai?
Ivy, are we expecting more gatherings today?
Yes, Mai. Later this afternoon, Kabataan Party List and Makabayan Coalition will hold their joint meeting de avance at Plaza Miranda, also to mark Labor Day. Mai?
Thank you, Ivy Reyes, reporting to us from Mandola. The Trade Union Congress of the Philippines also calling for the passage of the 200 peso legislated wage hike. This amid what it describes as the dire and increasingly perilous situation of workers. While the group acknowledges perks like job fairs, rice subsidies, and free rides, it says these are no substitute for the wage hike. It adds Marcoss certifying the bill as urgent will be the best assurance that it will be signed into law. President Bongbong Marcoss vows to protect the rights and welfare of workers. In his Labor Day message, Marcoss says the government is not just an observer of development, but their active partner as well. The president assures workers they will not be abandoned and will even be further supported as gratitude and recognition of their value and sacrifice. Vice President Duterte also paid tribute to laborers in a video statement.
Ating ipagdiwang ang tagumpay ng bawat overseas Filipino worker, medical at security frontliner, community worker, guro, at lahat ng nagtatrabaho sa pampubliko at pribadong sektor ng lipunan. Anumang hamon ang ating kinakaharap sa kasalukuyan, naway manatili tayong matatag, matyaga at mapagpursige sa ating nagkakaisang hangarin para sa tunay na kaunlaran at makabuluhang pagbabago sa ating bansa.
A critical economic partnership between the U.S. and Ukraine signed. The deal will give Washington access to Kiev's rare earth minerals in exchange for an investment fund for war-torn Ukraine's reconstruction. Both sides have been trying to hammer out the agreement since U.S. President Donald Trump returned to the White House in January. It comes as Trump tries to secure a peace settlement in Russia's 3-year-old war in Ukraine. The U.S. has been Ukraine's single largest military donor since Russia's invasion in 2022. Democrats are firing back a day after being criticized by President Trump in a Michigan rally to mark his first 100 days in office. Despite the president touting what he calls major economic wins, Senator Chuck Schumer and Representative Hakeem Jeffries described Trump 2.0 as a failure and a threat to democracy. Schumer went as far as calling Trump a would-be dictator.
Donald Trump is trying to ruin our democracy. He has changed the Justice Department into an attack dog for his political enemies, the hallowed, fair Justice Department. He's washing it away. He is a would-be dictator. He wants to be a king. And again, our Republican colleagues in the House and Senate are complicit. So, Donald Trump's first 100 days are an abject failure. And we Democrats here and around the country will fight him at every turn.
Donald Trump's first 100 days in office have been a disaster. Donald Trump and congressional Republicans are crashing the economy in real time, raising costs on hard-working American taxpayers and driving us toward a painful recession.
Britain's King Charles reflects on his cancer diagnosis and treatment. He spoke during a Buckingham Palace reception dedicated to community-based cancer groups. The king told them while each new cancer case will be daunting and frightening, it can also be an experience that brings into sharp focus the very best of humanity. Charles also expressed gratitude to health workers and researchers, saying his own experience has given him a deeper appreciation of the work that they do. Charles was diagnosed with an unspecified form of cancer in February 2024 and has since been receiving treatment. The heir to the British throne, Prince William and his wife Kate, go on a nature trail in Scotland. The royal couple visited a community forest where they met with families taking part in an outdoor learning session. This is the second and last day of their Scottish trip, which also coincides with their 14th wedding anniversary. The couple opted for a low-key celebration and even stayed at a self-catering cottage on the secluded west coast island of Mull. We're taking a break, still to come. The DLSU Lady Spikers now just one win away from entering the women's volleyball finals in the UAAP. That and more when Newsfeed at Noon returns. You are still watching Newsfeed at Noon. The Commission on Elections has readied satellite voting centers in areas affected by recent eruptions of Mount Canlaon. Joash Malimban joins us on the line from La Carlota, Negros Occidental for the details. Joash, what's the latest?
My Commission on Elections Chairman George Garcia personally visited Negros Occidental today to check on the situation of voters affected by the activity of Mount Canlaon. As part of the initiative, the COMELEC conducted an automated election system demonstration, voter education drive, and an outreach program at the La Carlota Evacuation Center early this morning. COMELEC spokesperson John Rex Lodianco led the demonstration, earlier giving the residents sample ballots and showing how the ACMs work. Chairman Garcia announced that satellite voting centers have been established for voters whose precincts are within the volcano's danger zones. In the past 24 hours, Phibux recorded at least 12 volcanic earthquakes. Alert Level 3 also remains in effect, prompting authorities to urge residents to stay alert for possible eruptions. Mai also scheduled today is the signing of a memorandum of agreement between COMELEC and the Office of Civil Defense, detailing contingency protocols for Mount Canlaon. Mai.
Joash, with the activities of Mount Canlaon, is there a possibility that the voting there will be postponed or even canceled?
Mai the Comelec assures the public that elections will continue as planned unless a major warrants a postponement. Mai.
Thank you, Joash Malimban, reporting from La Carlota, Negros Occidental. Shifting now to sports in the UAAP, LaSalle now just a win away from securing a spot in the women's volleyball finals. The Lady Spikers clinched a twice-to-beat edge after defeating the UST Golden Tigresses in 4 sets in the battle for the second seed. Angel Canino delivered 24 points, 12 receptions and 10 digs to lift the Lady Spikers. The second game of the best-of-3 series will be on Saturday at the Araneta Coliseum. Defending champs NU will also meet number 4 FEU in the other semis duel. Still in the UAAP this time in men's basketball. It's goodbye Recto and hello Diliman for Rainer Maga. The UP's Office of Athletics and Sports Development confirmed Maga's transfer to the university. Maga follows in the footsteps of Ray Remogat, who also moved to UP from UE last year. Maga will be cleared to play for the Fighting Maroons in season 89, where he will serve his 2 remaining eligibility years. This comes after Francis Lopez decided to leave UP by turning pro and moving to the Japan B League. Barangay Ginebra San Miguel regains its winning groove in the PBA Philippine Cup. The Gin Kings shut down the Northport Batang Pier Wednesday at the PhilSports Arena. Final score 131-106. RJ Abarientos led the way with 27 points, while best player of the game, Jason David, shredded his stuff after he moved up in the roster to take over LA Tenorio's spot. David had a solid game with 25 points, 9 rebounds, and 3 assists. In the first game, the Converge Fiber Xers cruised to their 3rd straight victory at the expense of the Rain or Shine Elasto Painters, 107-97. Best player of the game, Shawnee Winston, led the Fiber Xers with 24 points. Party is expected in Borakai this weekend as part of Labor Day traditions. Paulo Barcelon reports on this year's festivities.
Donna and her workmates from Sarangani are just among some of those catching a quick run at Boracay's beachfront. What brings them back to the island is the pristine waters and white sand of one of the world's best tourist destinations.
Napakaganda ng scenery, especially itong white sand, and then may mga activities sila, and then yung nightlife.
The same holds true for visitors like Roylan and for content creators like Darren.
Ito pa rin yung sand. Yun talaga nakakaawa. Kasi napakaganda ng buhangin. Tapos talaga mapipil mo na nasa isla ka. Kasi hindi naman yung daily life natin medyo, sabi nga, medyo busy. Yun nating hinahanap yung relaxation.
Ang sarap dito mag-relax. Ang sarap, ang daming pwedeng maging activities dito sa Boracay. Ang daming pwedeng gawin. Bukod sa pwede siyang pangbata, pwede siyang pangmatanda, pambata. Kahit anong edad, safe na safe dito sa Boracay.
Parties are also back in the island. This time done with care and environmental protection in mind. AirAsia Philippines held the first night of its Love Boracay events, headlined by celebrities such as Kaya, Denise Julia, The Ones, and OPM icons Itchy Worms. AirAsia Philippines says these events are also one of the prime movers to drive more local tourists, especially younger travelers.
We democratize air travel, meaning yung sa pinakamurang halaga na safest possible para makarating kayo sa Boracay, and that's AirAsia. And hindi lang naman siya flights. Siyempre, meron din kami mga partner hotels. So, yung kanilang stay sa Boracay, siyempre lalo na yung mga Gen Zs or millennials na always on a budget, yan. Of course, you fly with AirAsia, you fly with confidence, with peace of mind.
The airline is also hosting promos such as its 544 peso one-way base fare promo, in a bid to bring more tourists to Boracay. Last year, AirAsia Philippines brought over 1.3 million tourists to the island via both Caticlan and Calibo airports. The local government is eyeing to get over 2 million tourists this year from different economic backgrounds. The low-cost carrier has also increased flights to 81 per week from the previous 70 to cater to more passengers. Aside from luxurious stays in the island's hotels and resorts, the local government is also trying to attract guests on a budget.
Akala nila, Boracay, mahal, no? Mayroon pa rin mamamura dyan. So it's a matter only of informing the tourists na hindi naman mahal ang Boracay. Kaya it depends on your choice. Kung gusto mo mahal, merong mura, meron dyan. So it depends on your budget.
Changes implemented during the first rehabilitation of Borakai, such as beach cleanliness, constant monitoring of the island's water quality, and maintaining public order are also still being done to ensure a closure of the island will never happen again. Back in 2018, then President Rodrigo Duterte ordered a closure, calling the tourist destination a cesspool. Malay's local government says they will not let the rehabilitation go to waste, as they will make sure that the beauty of one of the world's best beaches will be preserved so that more people can see this piece of island paradise. In Boracay, Paulo Barcelon, Billionario News Channel.
From capturing award-winning images of marine life, acclaimed underwater photographer Scott Gutsy Tuasan's work is featured in an unlikely place, the 100 peso bill. His image of a whale shark or butanding is printed on the back of the polymer note alongside the iconic Mayon volcano. In an interview on It's a Beautiful Day, Tuasan shares how one of his underwater images got there.
At the time, I was working with a studio or a design group that was bidding for the new 100 peso for the new currency, right?
Yeah.
That was 2009 or 10.
Yeah, because we just switched currencies this year too.
And so they and then we were also talking about doing a book which was called Notes from the Sea at the time. So when they saw my underwater images, they were like, and then the animal was the theme for the. So they said, well, when we submit the designs, we're going to use your photos for the 100 peso bill. So I think that company won the 100 and the 20 peso.
This year, Gutsy is also marking a milestone, the 25th anniversary edition of his acclaimed marine photography book, Anilaw. He gives a sneak peek into what marine life enthusiasts can expect in this updated version.
It's shot in digital. It's a new digital printing process. Not digital printing, it's still offset, but it's digital as well, right? And so I'm going to launch that in September. It's been quite a slow process. It's a cool cover, but actually there's going to be 25 different covers.
Wow.
For each year.
Okay. And before we go talk about a perfect date, the world's tallest and shortest dogs recently met in Idaho. The Great Dane, named Reggie, has a height of more than 1 meter, while Chihuahua Pearl is only 9.14 centimeters. The meeting took place at Reggie's home and was organized by the Guinness World Records. And those are the news this hour. I'm Mai Rodriguez. Keep it here on the Billionario News Channel. Good afternoon.